Greetings, everyone. This is Body-Culinary, giving you a shout out from Central America. And I just wanted to share with you some treats that I got today. So keep in mind that in different countries, folks will have different names for the same food. So today, I have a sapodilla. They smell really, really nice. I have a sapodilla. So I know these have different names. And most of them I saw today were unripe. They ripen very quickly. This is what the inside looks like, and this is a whole one. And these are ripe. And by the way, when you have these kinds of fruit and they're ripe, when you're bringing them home, you want to make sure that you put them in a separate bag. I know I carry things home on my bicycle. So quite often I'll have to put them certain delicate fruits, I'll either put them in a really delicate one of my food bags or another plastic bag and put it on my handlebars so I can get it home without it being totally destroyed and mushy. So this is a fruit that you'll find in tropical environments. Again, it's one of those fruits, when it's not ripe, you don't really taste really what it should taste like, so then you might not enjoy it. So this is definitely something you want to eat ripe. So it's not too mushy, but this is like perfect. It tastes like, like a light, sweet, almost, the texture is almost like a custardy sorbet. It smells like vanilla. So that's the sapodilla. This one is a little less ripe, but this is what we're having today. So this is interesting. It's a tropical fruit. It's sweet. It's not as sweet as a pineapple or like high sugar. Maybe it's like a medium sugar fruit. So let me know in the comments if you recognize this fruit. I'm sure my folks from Jamaica or some of the other islands may have another name for this fruit. But this one is the perfect degree of ripeness. Quite often, folks say, I don't like papaya, I don't like this fruit. Quite often it's because the fruits are being picked when they're green and they won't ripen. So, I'm going to show you a good example. So this is we're still in avocado season. And this is another variety. We've had so many kinds of avocados. My favorite are the ones that are like really rich like a potato. So this is one gifted to us by a friend. She probably gave us like, a neighbor friend probably gave us maybe about 10 avocados, off of her tree. And this one, it can look really, really hard. This is kind of in between a watery avocado and an avocado pear. So I have probably had literally about 100 avocado seeds outside, and I haven't saved all of them, right? And I lost the seed. But something for you to research is you can actually use the avocado pits. So this is another variety of avocado. They are long, crooked neck avocados. You have some avocados that are this size. You have the purple avocados. Here they call them aguacate. But this is just another variety. And this one, sometimes they can look, this is an interesting one. These sometimes can look a little hard, like rock hard, and can be ripe on the inside. So I'm always telling you, the food is communicating, it's talking to you. So do check out the sapodilla fruit. And another little treat, right? Because if you have so many treats, there's no reason to cheat, right? We won't have to struggle so much if we could just simply stop putting substances masquerading as food into the body, right? The personal choice. I don't like to tell grown folks what to do. So I have some local tangerines here. Sometimes there are some varieties of oranges and tangerines that are green, that are actually ripe. Hey, phone stars. Yeah, these are really good. These are local. And they're so fragrant. I'm big on smelling food, because especially when it ripens, there's so much perfume in the food. We're moving so fast, so the food quite often is picked so unripe. We're not getting the full experience of the food. So right now it's rainy season, so it's raining here in Central America. And there are different varieties also of watermelons. So I prefer watermelons with seeds. Somebody commented on one of the watermelons we had. They said they didn't see black seeds. Keep in mind, there are so many different varieties of bananas. There are red bananas, apple bananas, finger bananas. There's so many different varieties of avocado. There's so many varieties of mango. I knew of several different kinds of mangoes in the States, but this mango season, I think, was my best mango season. I never want mango season to end. We got to wait all the way till next year for that one mango season. I mean, my sister and I, we walk around the neighborhood looking at the trees at the different stages of ripeness. So this one, even though it has some green on it, this is a local tangerine, and it has a different flavor. So as your palate becomes cleaner, which it will on its own, and as you eat more and more fresh produce, you can start to really taste the food on another level. If we're eating so much salt and heavy sauces and a lot of oil, sometimes we can't taste the sweetness, the natural sweetness in a cucumber, or there's sweetness even in lettuce, believe it or not. So your palate, it will change over time. I used to hate avocado, I used to hate papaya. Those are some of my favorite foods. And keep in mind, I've also now I know how to pick them, and I know what they're like when they're ripe. Hey, Obaida, I don't know if I'm saying your name correctly. Give me a shout out from Central America. And so one of the other treats that I have, and I know people typically do like breakfast, lunch, dinner. I don't feel really like so regimented because I'll take advantage of what's seasonal and what looks good at the market. I may have something on my list when I go to the market, but if I get to the market and let's say it doesn't look good, let's say like right now my greens in my garden, I don't have as much greens. Right now I'm waiting for the next harvest of greens, with the exception of I have quite a bit of sweet potato greens. But when I go to the market, greens are on my list. If I don't like the way the greens are looking, I could care if it was 50 cents. I'm not going to buy it if it's not appealing. So again, it's intuitive. If the food is not calling, if it doesn't look appetizing to you, if it doesn't have any smell, right? These are some things for us to tune into. Again, so many people ask for recipe. But a good foundation is simple, learning to taste the food, learning how to pick the food, and take your time. It's like when you go and you pick, the food. I know a lot of folks have Fresh Direct now, so somebody picks your food for you. I like to pick the food myself. So, which one is calling out to me, which one looks prettiest, which one has the prettiest colors. So something else that I got, which we're eating a lot of, is pepitas or pumpkin seeds. And I really like them in the shell. So believe it or not, there are different varieties of pumpkin seeds. And pumpkin seeds are so important for you. Men folk, you should be eating some. I highly recommend. Can't tell grown folks what to do. Get your hands on some pepitas, some pumpkin seeds, and unroasted, because the nutritional value of the oils or the fats, the vitamin E, all those soluble, all those vitamins and nutrients that are sensitive to heat and light. When you roast and toast them, you lose a lot of the benefit. You may get some taste because those oils, they smell fantastic when the heat hits them. However, the zinc and the nutrients, they're volatile. Again, think of the picture of the apple when you cut it open and the nutrients oxidize. We don't want to eat only for taste. I like to eat food that tastes good, but the food is definitely medicine. So I highly recommend all you brother men out there, eat pumpkin seeds. It's good to have as a staple. So I'm always checking my food, especially in another country, but even in the States, and if you're buying in bulk. And my grandma Lou used to put out a plastic lunch tray so that she could have me pick through her peas and legumes and things for rocks and things. So even if it's plant foods, sometimes and quite often a farmer has crops of several different items. So make sure that you're checking your food. So pumpkin seeds, I'll buy them from certain farmers by the pound. And there's one. Let me make sure this is dry. Make sure before you store grains and nuts and seeds that your containers are clean and totally dry with no moisture in it. So there's a couple of farmers that I'll get pumpkin seeds from. This is a close favorite, but this is not my absolute favorite. There is a pumpkin seed that is so big and juicy and it's sweet. Oh my gosh, it is so delicious. This is a close, I would say this is a close second. So this is something that we eat quite often. I will make milk from pumpkin seeds. I can make milk from almost anything. And I like to keep goodie jars, especially when my son was smaller. I would keep the big old jars that people used to have in the candy stores with cookies and stuff in it. Well, I would have my own goodie jar. And back then when I used to make popcorn, I would put popcorn or homemade granola or trail mixes, or if I was making my own fruit leathers, whatever. And I would put them in clear Ziplocs and put little ribbons and things on them, and I would put them inside of a goodie jar. And so I would say, well, if you didn't have water, if you didn't have fruit, whatever, you didn't eat your vegetables, you can't have anything out of the goodie jar. And I had a policy, when we're out in the street, if it ain't in the bag, don't ask, right? So I'm really big on carrying my own food. So these I'm buying in bulk from a farmer. And pumpkin seeds can have a tendency, the inside covering will shed this piece a lot. It's fine, it actually tastes good, but don't eat it in the room, or you'll have on the floor, you'll have those shadings all over the place. So I have jars and jars of pumpkin seeds. But this one is actually pretty big, but there's one a lot bigger than this, and there's a variety. And these are not, these are not toasted. These are really, really nice. And then you become an aficionado at cracking them through the side. Take them out, especially when they're big and juicy. It's like a meditation. So if most people had to harvest the nuts off the tree and had to pick them and crack and open them up, that would be a fraction of the nuts and seeds that we're eating. So again, when you're eating the whole natural food, you can see like Mother Nature already has portion control built in. It will slow you down, right? Yeah, you have to crack that shell. And these I'll put right into the compost, right? These are so high in calcium and especially zinc, which is beneficial for men and women, but especially men folks out there, get your pumpkin seeds. And if you can, if possible, and it takes time, because at one point, I was a person that could not drink tea without sweetener, or nut milks without sweetener, or things without salt. But now I don't necessarily need to do that. You know, if you're addicted to salt, a good tip is, right, to take a teaspoon, because most of us don't need more. Even if it's sea salt, it's still sodium. It's still extracted sodium. We should not be having really more than this 1 teaspoon of added salt a day, right? And that's of salt, the highest quality with minerals, like a Himalayan or a Celtic or the gray sea salt that still have the minerals. Even if we left that salt out, if we're eating plenty of natural sodium, right? And sodium is different than sodium chloride, right? The extracted, isolated salt. You'll get plenty of naturally occurring sodium that is actually hydrating if you're eating lots of fresh broccoli and fresh celery and fresh greens. There is naturally occurring sodium in there. But for those people that are adding salt, you really don't need more than a teaspoon. So if there's any kind of insight, if you're eating outside, there's salt in all the ingredients, and then the chefs in restaurants will put more salt on the food, because most of us would eat at the restaurants if it didn't have salt on it. So if you can kind of find a sweet spot with the salt should really be complementing. If you're using it, it should complement the taste of the food. The food shouldn't be primarily salty, where the first thing that you taste on your palate is salt. It's really meant to just a little accent to accentuate the flavors of the food. And sometimes to be on the heavy manners and to put your taste buds in check. If you know that you're a mindless eater, it's a wonderful meditation sometimes to pull all the salt out of the food and taste it. And watch if you have an aversion. Watch your mental dialogue, and watch if your appetite is totally sliced when you pull the salt out. And another tip you can try is, when you're preparing your foods, add the salt last, right? So sometimes I can take a small, I'm a food scientist over here. Good exercise, right? Is to take a teaspoon of salt and put it in here, single Himalayan sea salt. And when you're preparing your food, only pull from here for the day. And let's see if you can see how much salt that you're taking in. Salt can definitely give you a false appetite and stimulate you to eat way more than you would eat normally if you pulled the salt out. So these are things that can give you an insight. And I know people want me to just give recipes. There's no shortage of recipes and foods, but I really want to encourage people to go to the root of what's driving our behavior to eat and to not be present while we're eating, and to see and to notice our food behavior, our food personality, our flavor profile. Are we just eating for stress? Are we eating only to medicate? Are we eating foods that are very deficient in nutrients, which is starving in reverse, right? We can be very, very overweight and be starving actually in reverse. So Obesity and anorexia can be flip sides, if you will, invite you to look at another perspective of the same coin where we're being malnourished in reverse. We're eating so many calories, but it's very devoid of nutrients. A lot of times we're eating substances that are masquerading as food, right? So that's one exercise you can try is to take a teaspoon and then you can graduate down lower and play around to find the sweet spot with your salt. When the food is not salty, you can taste salt, but it's not salty. There are also other things that you can put into the food, other natural ingredients, other whole unprocessed foods that can balance out the saltiness in the food, right? So we have those flavors on our palate and ways that we can balance out the food. Spicy, salty, sweet, acidic. Those are the different qualities that we want to balance out within a meal that help your meal become very pleasant, satisfying, in addition to the plating, the presentation, and the knife skills, right? And layering flavors. But definitely it's good to start to notice when you have food, a favorite food that you like. Do you like the texture? Do you like it salty? Do you like it more spicy? Do you like sweets? People say they have a sweet tooth. You know, a lot of times I say, which one? Which one is a sweet tooth? Anyway, that's it for the salt. So these are just some of the things that are going on that I eat in a typical day. This is definitely a snack for me. It's whole papitas or pumpkin seeds, and these are not salted. For those times where I do want to have salt, I add my own salt. If I'm making kimchi or sauerkraut, this is actually a really good brand. Most people are familiar with the Celtic sea salt and the pink Himalayan sea salt. This one, you can find this in fine and coarse. If I'm making a kimchi or sauerkraut, I'll use a coarse. And then I'll put this in a smaller container. This is evaporated seawater. So it has the minerals in it. And I also consume a lot of seed vegetables, which is really, really good for the thyroid, which regulates our body temperature, our metabolism, and affects how efficiently we're burning off the food, in addition to pumping your lymphatic system through exercise, your sleep, and all of those different things. So seed vegetables are, and again, it's one of those foods I could not stand. I could not stand seaweed, and now it's a staple, right? And hey, sweet tooth and spicy, that's your problem. Well, that's one way to look at it. It could be a problem, but if you have those challenges, I invite you to use your challenges to your advantage. If you know you like spicy food, like I make some mean hot sauce like my grandma Lou. So same Bajan hot sauce, but I make it live. And I have a whole mess of some beautiful, oh my gosh, I have the most beautiful Scotch bonnet peppers right now. A whole slew of hot peppers. I don't know if I have time to grab them so that you can see them. I don't know if I have access to these peppers. They might be too far back in here. But there are several farmers that have brought some to market. So I'm about to make some hot pepper sauce. So ain't nothing wrong with hot peppers. Ain't nothing wrong with some hot peppers because they're really good for your metabolism. These, I would say, are much more preferable to, ooh, lose my pepper. These are much more preferable to, how you say, the trapeze hot sauce that we came up with when they were frying fish and stuff like that. These, I mean, one, you gotta be careful because if you scratch your face, you can burn your face. But this is the jam right here. Oh my God, these are such beautiful peppers. So I got a big old mess of these. I'm gonna make some hot pepper sauce. So, and this will keep inside the refrigerator. And I also make this with fresh turmeric in it. So I mean, it's like one of those hots that's like a good to you hot. It's hot and it's burning your mouth, but you want some more. You gotta be careful with it because it might burn your booty a little bit from eating too much hot pepper. But the parasites will go running. So you just want to be careful if you have an ulcer. You know, you're eating too many hot peppers, and you can also balance the spicy out with cooling foods. Like I used to be a big Indian food lover, and I still love the spices. So back in the day, when I used to eat dairy many years ago, I used to love to eat the raita, which was yogurt, like a really cooling. It wasn't a dip, but almost like a sauce of cucumber and yogurt. You find it in lots of Indian restaurants, and they eat a lot of spices, and they'll put the raita on to balance out a lot of the spicy food. Yeah. Oh, really? You're growing the yes, woman. Yeah, and you know what? The peppers, the seeds from these hot peppers, they grow really easily. So I invite folks to, everybody can grow something. Just take the seeds and plant the seeds that you're growing and see if they grow. These are one of the easier seeds to grow, as well as green peppers. So these are some things I'm showing because they're seasonal. They're what's available, and these are things that I eat on a regular basis. When there's a short season for the tangerines, when no tangerines. Right now, also Belizean oranges are in season. Quite often they can look green, but they're sweet. There are some varieties of pineapple that are green that are sweet. So you'll learn, again, the more you're eating the fresh produce, the more you'll learn how to pick them in a different stage of ripeness. But if the tangerines are not available, I'll eat oranges. If the orange is not available, I'll eat grapefruit. And when grapefruit is in season, you have the white grapefruit and you have the pink grapefruit. And sometimes when you get a good batch, they can be so delicious. Some people might not like them because they consider them bitter. But again, it depends. The more you taste the food, you can taste the difference between the different farmers' crops. You know, what's being brought to market. So then we had the tangerines, the sapodilla. We had this interesting, I don't even know what we call this one. We got this from a neighbor. We got about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 of these avocados from a neighbor who sent these over. And watermelon. I made some of the most delicious. I made some fresh pressed coconut cream with wakame, which is a sea vegetable, and white pepper and sea salt and white onions, like really, really paper thin sliced, with some romaine lettuce. It was so delicious. And I'm also listening to my sister. She, ooh, that's good, that's good. So I'm always listening to the feedback from my family to see how much they're enjoying the food. Yeah, so these are some of the things that I eat in a day. And yeah, I don't worry so much. Well, I'm used to my portions now. I'm not going to sit and eat the whole jar. But these things are natural, so I don't have to worry about dieting. You don't have to diet when you're eating whole, fresh living foods. Now, depending on where you are, you may need to regulate your sugar and balance out your food combinations and your fats. But we'll talk more on that later. So I just wanted to give you a quick share. Give the video a thumbs up if you found some value and share it with someone so you have more support. And I'll see you in the next video.